How many of you are not familiar with The Life You Were Born to Live? I know some of you really are, and it's amazing. So many of you aren't. It's one of the books I wrote. There's another little book. Oh, thank you for showing that. There's another little book called The Four Purposes of Life. And this book, it's a small book. It's like Hermione's bag, you know, in Harry Potter, that bag that just you can pull all these things out of. There's a lot in this little book. It gives a context to most of what I teach. And the third purpose of life and the four purposes of life is what's written in The Life You Were Born to Live. And it tells the story of how I met this mentor and how I came across this system. It's based on numerological system. I've never been very interested in numerology. It never made sense to me how adding up the numbers of your date of birth could give reliable, valid, accurate information about the core issues of your life. And some of the numerology books I'd glanced at just seemed about 40% accurate, maybe. So I never had an innate interest in it. People thought I went off on some kind of tangent who read the book. After No Ordinary Moments, A Peaceful Warrior's Guide to Daily Life, and then a book on numerology. And I'm not really a numerologist, but I was taught by an unusual mentor a way to have insight into myself and other people and have more compassion for self and others. And to understand us better, what our life path, our hidden calling is. So that's how I came across it. And about 20 people listened to a series of lecture to this mentor who's passed away some years ago. And they just took it for their own curiosity, but I immediately started typing up all my notes. I only had 20 pages of notes. And you can see that it expanded considerably. Because it's a reference, all the life paths are in here. People can look them up. The point is, I started doing readings for people. 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200, 500, over 8 years. And more information came in, more insight. I internalized the knowledge. And after 8 years, I decided it was time to teach just helping professionals. It helps therapists to home right in on some core issues of people's lives. And finally, after that, I realized I better write a book or somebody else is going to do it, and it's not going to be as good because they haven't worked with it as long. So I dove in and wrote one of the hardest books I've ever had to write. You know, Jack London said it takes hard writing to make easy reading. And it was really hard to write that book. But it's one of my most popular books because people go, how many of you have read it? So you know what I'm talking about. Kind of hits you over the head. It's not an oracle that gives vague general information you have to read into. It just kind of says, boom, there you are. By the way, there's an app. If anybody has an Android phone or an iPhone, you can get the app, the Life Purpose app. And it's all the information in the book on your phone. And you can look up. In fact, you can go to my website, peacefulwarrior.com, and there's a link, Life Purpose, and the Life Purpose calculator is right there. And you can get a taste, a couple sentences about your life path. And it's very shallow. It's only like a menu, not the meal. But it gives you a little information, but a quick insight about your life path in there. So that's kind of... now I'm going to do my best to make my answers shorter now. Let's see. We can get to more questions.